Hi and welcome back to the channel today. It's Adam from RC Action Australia. So as you can see, we are surrounded by Tamiya Thundershot series chassis, and today's video we're going to look at the problematic A5 front end part, and I've got a few different types of upgrades that you'll be able to do to upgrade that part, make it stronger. And one of them's just simple. You don't really need to do anything other than have all the factory pieces. Another one, we've got a brace that we can fit with the factory pin screws with a little a bit of advice that you can do with that. And also I've just ordered a A5 alloy, complete alloy front bracket from RC Mart. I'll put a picture of it there. That looks like a fantastic piece of kit. And on today's video we're going to install that, plus I'm going to show you those few different types of upgrades that you can do to your A5 part. So before we go to the workbench and I show you some of those upgrades, I just wanted to do a quick little bit of a backstory on why those parts are, why we're now getting some upgrade parts for the A5 part rather than people having to sort of adapt and make some things like they have in the past. So Tamiya recently re-released the Terra Scorcher. It's sold out in the masses and people were wondering, did they upgrade the A5 part? So long and the short is no, Tamiya did absolutely nothing, which makes no sense because they could have quite easily, done something to upgrade that part. So if you are like me and do have multiple Thundershot series cars, so I have the complete family, plus I have obviously some of the comical releases. So I've got the Dash 1 Emperor there, I've got a Fire Dragon, I have got the Thundershot, the basic one, plus I've got the full complete kit, which is quite rare, and I've got the Thunder Dragon, and as you can see here, I've got a couple of Terra Scorchers. Now, as you can see, I've had my fair share of upgrading A5 parts, and it does get a little bit expensive if you are buying complete A parts trees, and they can be quite tricky. But now that the Terra Scorcher is out, that's given us some new parts that are now on the market. Not quite there yet, but they're slowly trickling in. And obviously some companies are now coming up with some fantastic A5 part upgrades. So I'll flick over to the build table. Like I said, there's a few upgrades you can do. So I'm going to run you through those and I'm going to show you that awesome new alloy A5 part. So welcome to the build table, and we are going to get stuck into, first of all, having a quick look at the options that you have. And not only will these options be beneficial for a car that you've run or you're going to restore, it's also going to be highly beneficial if you are building a Terra Scorcher, whether it's for the shelf or just as a little light runner. Now this is an original vintage Terra Scorcher that has been built and it's never been run. It's a bit of a shelf queen car. So it has broken A5 part and obviously the cracks on the edges. And one of the main issues that I find with this car is the screw pins is actually causing the breaks with the A5 part. And not only, if you do have a front impact collision with it, obviously that's going to put a little bit more stress on the A5 part. So when I'm talking about the A5 part and the screw pin, so this is a broken one that I've taken off one of these cars here. I'll put some better close-up footage of this soon. But this screw pin, when it goes in, the screw pin gets to a certain point and then obviously it has a thread. But I'm finding that when you're tightening that thread, it's expanding the plastic and it's stressing the plastic. Now, I recently installed a brand new A5 part on the Fire Dragon, and overnight it was cracked the next morning. So I do really think that majority of the weakness from the A5 part comes just from this screw pin set, and it's really disappointing that Tamiya did not revise and upgrade that even to just some of these stainless steel pin sets that you can buy and fit to this car. So with that out of the way, let's look at our three options. Now, first of all, you can buy these metal braces. Now they are quite cheap on eBay. At the moment they've gone up because of the postage. And basically you use all the original parts and you screw through the metal brace. And I've actually been running that on my Fire Dragon and I've had no problems whatsoever. So that's a good option. The other thing is you can keep the standard A5 part and you can upgrade to these TL01 stainless steel suspension sets. Obviously that's a stainless steel rod with the C-clip on either end. Now I've got that currently on this car, and when I did that restoration build, I'll put a link above, you'll be able to see that installed on that car. And the final upgrade that I have just received from RC Mart was this extra speed aluminium suspension mount for the Tamiya Thundershot. So they've just come online and pretty much in time for the release of the 2020 Terra Scorcher. So it's a fantastic looking piece, and it also comes with its own suspension components as well for you to fit it to the car. Now let's have a quick look at how you can first of all upgrade using all the standard parts, and then we'll look at some of the cars that I've put these onto, and then I'm going to install the alloy front bracket onto my Terra Scorcher here, because I do planning on using this as a runner and converting it to brushless in the near future. So when we're talking about that A5 part, that's the part there, and as you can see, this one here, it's got those small little cracks in the top corners here, if you can see that on the video, and obviously this is our upgraded part. So as you can see there, it's identical and obviously offers a better option to the A5. Now the first thing you can do is, just grab this screw pin over here. So the first thing you can do in upgrading your A5 part from the factory and standard, and I did that when I rebuilt the Thundershot series car here for the Dash 1 Emperor, is where you have your screw pin and you slide it in on the car, and when you get to about there, just before your thread starts going through, if you get like a lighter or some sort of small, a lighter's probably best, honestly guys, and heat the end of that up, and before you screw it in, it basically melts the A5 plastic just enough for you to create a nice thread. Now, I have done that on that car, like I said, and I have not seen any cracks on that as yet, and I have given that a light little run. So for anyone there that just wants a quick upgrade, and this is not only extended to the Thundershot, I've used this technique of heating up the screw pin on the Falcon and many other Tamiya cars that are known and prone to having cracks when assembling. So this is my Thunder Dragon. I've taken the bumper bar off just so I can show you obviously this little metal bracket in better detail fitted to the chassis. Now this car here has had a lot of use, and I've just recently upgraded it to re-release electronics, so just a normal silver can motor and the TBLE O2S. It's a fun little car, nothing too crazy but a good runner. So this car also suffered from having some slight little cracks on the A5 part there. So this one here, I've just basically, as you can see, the brace slips over the factory A5 part, and you just locate all 4 screws in the factory position. Now I've run this car a few times and the brace holds up fantastically, and yeah, that's another really good option for you guys out there if you really want to upgrade the A5 part. And it's sort of in between, you know, using the factory parts and obviously upgrading with a little metal bracket as well. Okay, so on this one I've taken the bumper bar off yet again, and I'm going to show you the stainless steel pin upgrades that you can do. Now they're easily found on eBay. I think I got them off Tony's Tamiya parts. So as you can see, they obviously just go right into the factory positions, and instead of having the screw pin, you just put the little C-clip on the front there. So I've driven this car a few times now, and basically, yep, there's no problems whatsoever. So I do recommend that as a good upgrade to the A5 part. Obviously, it won't stop any front-end collision damage that may be caused from the A5, but it definitely takes the stress off the plastic there that's caused by the screw pins. So to start off with, guys, you need to, obviously, I've gone and undone the C-clips at the back here, and I've loosened off the screw on the bottom here that holds the A5 into place. So all we need to do now is just remove the front two screws to take this off. So it's a pretty easy process to get this off. Just a few screws and the A5 part finally comes off. So let's pull out the A5 part. So obviously the whole front of the car is going to collapse and pretty much fall off here, guys. So just be careful when you do take this off that you don't lose any of your drive shaft parts. So that's the obviously the A5 part that came off this car. It's in really good condition, and you can see how those obviously C-clip pins go through the front there, and obviously there's no stress on the A5. So when installing the new part, as you can see, it looks very much like the original, so it should go on without any issues. And again, it just slides on the front there. So as you can see, just slides straight into the factory positions. So I'm going to button this up and put some screws in there to hold it, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so it went on quite easily. As you can see there, all the C-clips and original screws back in position. That's it from underneath there. Now the most difficult part about fitting this was obviously getting the C-clips on the stainless steel shafts. So everything works nicely, and I would highly recommend this upgrade. So hopefully everyone enjoyed today's video and can agree that those simple upgrades and little tips there that I've given you for the A5 part, hopefully people out there can adapt that to their own car, and also get out there and maybe buy some of those parts to update whether it's their older runner, because as you can see there, that Fire Dragon has had quite a lot of use, and it does have those characteristic cracks in the gearbox areas, but that just, you can see that that little upgrade is perfect for an older car that has those problems. So I'll leave it there for today. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and obviously if you haven't already, check out my Tamiya Frog RC car giveaway, and we've got a whole build series for that. So we've done an unboxing video, and obviously I've explained how you can win it, so you can check that video, and obviously we've done a build video as well. So I'll pop all the links for that at the end of this video. So if you have a frog or you want a frog, please check out that video, and also remember to like and subscribe to the channel. So until next time, I'll see you then.